Hello my friends, welcome back. Today I am back with the Master Jakub for the new episodes of the Blades, and we're gonna be doing special test. Katana versus barrel of the gun. The test is called
Teppo Giri.
It's gonna be really cool, guys. So let's get started. So Master Jakub, can you a little bit explain how it's all began, if it's even true, the cutting of the barrel?
Yes. In the fact, in second year of era Koka, it's 1557, famous Takeda Shingen samurai leader from Kai meet in battle with some Ashigaru or musketeer with Hinawaju or Japanese musket. And Takeda Shingen on horseback draw his sword made by famous Kanemitsu. It was so called Takemata Kanemitsu because previous owner was samurai with name Takemata, and in a very big danger cut it this Ashigaru. Ashigaru wanted to block this cut with his rifle, but Takeda Shingen was able to cut even rifle and even his enemy in one single blow. So it's one of stories of Teppo Giri or gun barrel cutting test.
And you also told me there have been some documented, some kind of like in the World War II or something like that?
Yes. A very famous story. I suppose that is product of Japanese World War II propaganda, but it's story that one Japanese Imperial Army officer cut it barrel of machine gun with his gunto or military sword with blade. Made by famous Seki Magoroku or second generation Kanemoto, very famous swordsmith from 16th century. I suppose that it's completely impossible because as you know, for barrel of machine gun or gun is use very special hardened steel, but story of barrel cutting is older than World War II. It's a lot of stories, especially from Edo period, from 17th to 19th century.
Very interesting.
And maybe you remember our first episode of Lords of the Blades. It's kabuto wari or helmet cutting. It's a very old traditional test. In 20th century, only 3 people tried it successfully. We were one of this, and now we would like to try Teppo Giri as well. By the way, I have here a very nice sword. It's about from Eisho period, from start of 16th century, and it's sword made by Kanemitsu, same name like Kanemitsu from story of Takeda Shingen, but of course it's different generation.
Oh, beautiful.
Of course we would not like to cut barrel of gun with this precious sword with high historical artistic value, but we should see that Japanese sword should be very sharp. We should, for example, show or
the hairs.
But in this same blade, it's possible to cut a piece of iron with superior quality of Japanese sword. So I don't know if we will be successful in the fact. Maybe it's impossible, but we have to try it.
We definitely have to find out, guys. So I think now maybe let's move on the testing place and we're gonna try it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Last one thing is that we in a true Japanese sword fight don't need so big movement of blade. Only small movement should be deadly. For example, if we have good technique, only cut like this should be deadly.
Yes.
So it's not necessary to make very
Of course.
big movement.
If you're gonna hit the flesh.
Of course, Teppo Giri is same like Kabutovari, not test of fencer, but a test of durability and quality of Japanese sword. So, by the way, we have the same sword like in our Kabutovari test. So it's contemporary, traditional way made sword with choji hamon and nice itamehada. Of course, it should have some artistic value, but because it's all sword for tests, it's not polished well, so it's impossible to show some nice parts of the blades. But we tried that this blade is very good because our Kabutovari or helmet cutting test was successful.
Well, let's find out if it's gonna be successful this time, right? Let's go, guys.
Yes, we tried it.
So, Master Jakub, we are back on the place. So that was a little bit hectic. Now we have a lot of time. Can you a little bit explain what actually happened?
So I was surprised. I didn't expect that it's possible to cut barrel. This is 2 barrels gun, so 1 barrel is actually cut it. But of course, sword had some physical limits. So even it is very good sword, blade was broken in this part. It's part called monouchi. This one is part which is used for cutting in a true fight. And so I suppose that we are only one in 20th century who tried to do some crazy test like it. But as you know, cutting power of Japanese sword is incredible. Maybe if sword should be better, it should be completely successful. But it's very, very impressive cut, and usually for Tameshi Giri we are using tatami omote or straw mat, which is steam resistance for sword like human body, or madake bamboo, and this is one kind of very extreme test.
Very extreme.
It is called katamonogiri, or cutting of hard objects. For example, deer's antlers, old copper coins, etc. By the way, kabutovari or helmet cutting is one kind of katamonogiri, and of course this gun is without some historical value, so it's not a problem to use it for tests like this. And I'm happy that we tried it. It's a lot of speaking in the internet. Is it possible? Is
Yes.
it is possible? So we tried it, and here is the result.
And actually, don't worry about the sword, guys, because Master Jakub actually told me that this we're gonna make a tanto, right?
Yes, yes.
And maybe this we can also fix it for more tests. So
Yes.
this is definitely not over. And I'm actually really surprised with the results, because if that would be only 1 barrel gun, right? I think you would be actually cut it. So there is definitely something true on this legend,
But
right?
Of course, there are a lot of kinds of rifles, and I suppose that about 95% of guns barrels is impossible to cut,
Yes.
even if a very perfect sword and even in a very perfect technique. This barrel is not so thick, so for this reason we were successful. But of course. Please don't try it. If blade should
Yes.
break like this, it should be very dangerous. So I suppose that it's better to don't try it because you should have a very heavy injury.
Totally agree. Definitely don't try it, guys. Especially with some kind of cheap katanas, right? That could be even more disastrous.
Yes, of
Because
course.
this was special sword making for this test, right?
Yes. Only blade was more than $1,000. But we are satisfied because we should do our test successfully.
So guys, really amazing test. Definitely let us know in the comment section below if you want to see more videos like this one. Big thanks to Master Jakub for this episode, and definitely check out more episodes of the Lords of the Blades. But for today, that's it. So thank you everyone for watching. Share, like, comment, subscribe, and
Sarabaja!
see you next time.